Hi, everybody. Melissa here. And so today's class is called Hip-nosis. And so we had a tied vote for our class theme with some folks wanting to focus on hip stuff and some folks wanting to concentrate on our concentration. And so we're going to do a little bit of both in this practice. This is a 30-minute long session, so we will be doing a little bit less in this time. Remember that in therapeutic yoga, less is more. It's not always about how much we can do, especially when we are in different phases of our cycle and we sincerely need to rest, or of course, just different stages of our life when we need to rest. And so be gentle with yourself for this practice. Whenever we go into the hips, stuff tends to come out. And so if you notice that you're having an emotional response when you're practicing, know that you can come back to your breathing. You can always come out of the pose to some degree or all together. And at any time you can come to child's pose, you can rest on your back. You can return to just focusing on your breath, knowing that that is the yoga practice. When you find your edges, you are allowed to honor them. So let's go ahead and get started right away here. We're going to just begin by loosening our body up a little bit. So go ahead and just kind of step your feet out wide, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. If you want to shake your head some side to side, just kind of moving loosely and mindfully, rolling your shoulders, shaking out your arms, rolling your wrists, shaking out your legs. Kind of whatever feels natural for you here. You can take the shoelace part of your foot to the floor and roll it around a little bit, waking up your toes. Thinking about moving your awareness around to different parts of your body. So we're at the feet now, focusing on the shoelace part of the foot, or wherever your awareness and attention may be. You can kind of skip it around. You don't have to stay with me. You can shake out the legs again, one at a time. Be impressed if you can do both legs at the same time. And then let's come back to the arms here. And so let's just start loosely swinging them. Being mindful with our shoulders, especially if you have any sort of injury or any tightness or restriction. Breathing and allowing your breath to quicken a little bit here as we move. Let's pick one arm now and we'll slowly start to make big, complete circles, reaching it forward or backward, doesn't matter. We'll go both ways. Moving your awareness into your shoulder blade now, into your chest, into the length of your arm, all the way out through your fingertips. Taking a couple more rounds, and then when you're ready, going the opposite direction. Noticing what may change in terms of sensation, noticing what you're noticing. A few more rounds. And as you feel complete, we can go ahead and allow that arm to relax, hanging loose beside you. We'll begin with the other. And so again, woo, sorry, baby. We'll go both directions. Moving nice and slow, mindfully with your shoulder. Again, noticing that awareness all the way out through your arm, feeling at the very tips of your hands as you swing it. If you want to wiggle your fingers. Again, you can go both directions. I've already changed. You can change at any time. You can go back and forth as I'm doing. As we try to improve our concentration here a little bit, we can also make room for when we lose focus or when we want to change. Being gentle with our mind when it does wander. When you feel complete with your arms going either direction or both directions, go ahead and let your arm hang loose beside you once more. And now we're going to step our feet nice and wide here and just start bending one knee and then the other. Keeping your feet on the same plane, so making sure that one foot's not way in front of the other. Bending down into your knees as comfortable as you can. Feel free to stabilize yourself against a wall, so you can do the same action with your fingertips on the wall, just going side to side. Feeling that stretch into the outer part of your lower leg and into the inner thigh and groin. And now if you're comfortable, let's start to take it a little bit further. You can walk your hands down the wall, maybe come down to the floor, reaching as far over, pausing for a second. And then inhaling to come back to center, exhaling over to the opposite side. Again, getting into the inner thigh, reaching down through the blade edge of your straightened leg. Taking your time, moving a little bit slower here, but still moving, going side to side. Kind of surfing through the pose. You can still do it at the wall if the floor isn't quite all the way going to make it for you. You can also use your blocks, bringing the floor a little higher. Moving as slowly or as quickly as feels comfortable. And now, wherever you are, go ahead and find your blocks. We'll come onto tower height here, and with your next in-breath, come back to center, leaning forward towards your toes so that you're not reaching into the heel too much. We want to expand out through the foot, opening our feet really, really wide, pressing down into the toes, lifting through the arch of your foot if that feels possible for you. Keep your weight shifting forward slightly, pressing the floor away. Lift your spine away from the ground as you draw the crown of your head away from your hips. And now lift your inner thigh and groin up towards the ceiling, feeling your pelvis firm here. Take another breath in. And then with your next exhale, bend both knees, and we're going to walk our hands on our tower height blocks all the way over towards the short end of our mat, turning towards our right foot. And now we're going to spin both of our feet so that both our toes, our knees, and our hips face towards the short end of the mat on the right. From here, we'll slowly lower our left knee down onto the ground. You can keep the ball of your foot tucked under here if that feels good and you're stretching the arch of your foot okay and your knee is happy. If not, you can release the shoelace part of your foot down to the ground. You can also grab your blanket here and prop underneath your knee if you need a little bit more support underneath your knee. Keeping your hands on your blocks, press down into your hands and start to lift up through your heart. Let your left hip sink downward towards the ground as your heart pulls upward away. Keep reaching down through the hip as you press into the right foot, pushing the earth away. If you need to adjust your knee at any time, sometimes the skin of the knee can start to feel unsatisfied. Apologies, I was getting a call. And so we'll sink into it here, making sure that the knee is nice and happy, lifting up through your heart, maybe walking yourself back a little more. Let the front of the hip continue to sink as the front foot presses away. Notice your posture. And allow your breath to slow and deepen. Using each inhalation to extend a little higher up through the crown of the head, and each exhalation to sink a little deeper into the hip. Let's take another big breath in. With your next exhale, start to fold your belly down towards your thigh, bringing your hands to your blocks if they weren't there already. We're now going to step our right hand to the inside of our right foot, keeping it with our block. And we're going to walk our hands forward slightly here as we slide our right foot out towards the long edge of the mat on the right. And now from here, we're going to lift the inside edge of our right foot. So that you can see here, we'll take the sole of the foot off of the floor slightly, allowing the right knee to externally rotate towards the long edge of the mat on the right. Keep sinking down into that left hip flexor as you let the right knee drop open, feeling that open space into the right inner thigh and groin even more deeply. And now you can keep your shoulders drawn up and back, excuse me, down and back. Or if it feels appropriate for you, maybe fold forward slightly here, taking your blocks a little lower if that feels comfortable, and maybe resting your forearms on your blocks, allowing the stretch in the outer hip to deepen. If you were comfortable where you were, please feel free to stay there. We'll take a few breaths in this position now. And now you can stay right where you are. If this round of poses has felt too difficult from the floor, or if it is flaring up any sort of pelvic pain for your body, you can also take a chair onto the mat, making sure all four corners of it remain on the mat. And oops, sorry, we would be doing our right leg. You can do our lunge pose from the chair, stabilizing your hips here and sinking into it. And then when it comes time for our lizard lunge, you can allow your right knee to open as you sink into the left hip this way, even bringing your hands down to the chair, which is an amazing opening for that right hip. You can also use your blocks underneath your hands on the chair if you're kind of in that in-between space. Please make sure you take the variation that is most comfortable for your body, honoring wherever you are today, knowing that it's different from one practice to the next. Allow your breath to slow and deepen a little bit further. Focus your mind on what's happening in your hips, allowing the expansion of the inhale breath and the relaxation of the exhale breath to occupy your focus. From here, we're going to slowly lift up. So taking your hands higher, if you are on the floor, bringing your hands to tower height. We're going to slowly slide our right foot over towards the long edge of the mat on the left now, preparing for pigeon pose. And so if you're on the floor, slide your foot over and you can prop underneath your hip to make sure that it's comfortable in this position. I'm going to switch to the floor and then I will demonstrate the chair version. And so from here, we come from our lizard lunge, sliding our right foot over towards the long edge of the mat on the left, stepping our blocks to the inside of the right foot once more. Take your blanket underneath your left hip and slowly settle down, letting your right foot slide towards your left hip as well. And so we want to have the most opening now through this left thigh, feeling the hip flexor open, lifting through the crown of your head for a moment here. And then as you feel ready, you can fold down, maybe taking your blocks to a lower height or allowing them to support you where it feels best in your body. You can also use your chair here to rest your head if that feels too far away. Now, our chair variation that is the most comfortable is to sit on our chair now as if we were doing our chair pose in a chair. So sitting nice and tall, you can pull that right foot in to sit on top of the left inner thigh and allow the right knee to open down towards the floor this way. Flex your foot back towards you, keeping the knee protected here, and draw upwards through the crown of the head. You'll get into that hip so nice and juicy here. So again, taking whatever variation feels most comfortable for you, allowing this practice to honor you. Let's take a couple more slow, deep breaths. With your next inhale, slowly start to come up, using your blocks here. And so from our floor pigeon, we're going to press into our hands, firm your belly towards your back, start to pull your left hip back towards your left knee, and you can slide your right foot out, bringing it back into that original low lunge position. Slide your blanket out of the way here, and then go ahead and bring your blocks to tower height. Tuck the toes on the left foot, inhale to lift the left knee, and then exhale to walk yourself back towards the long edge of the mat. Adjust your legs as you need to. Inhale and lift up again, reaching through the crown of the head. And then this time on your exhale, we're going to fold straight down, allowing our head to hang in the space between our legs, working our weight forward toward our toes. So a slight bend in the knee helps to protect us from hyperextending through the back of our legs. Shifting our weight slightly towards our toes will strengthen our feet, allowing us to reach down through the heels a little bit further, extending the length of our legs, releasing the head. Let's take another big breath. Exhale, fold just a little deeper. Inhale, we're going to come up halfway. Walking yourself over now towards the long edge of the mat on the left, or excuse me, short edge of the mat on the left. We're going to spin both feet, knees, and hips, excuse me, towards the short end of the mat. And from here, we drop the right knee. And so you might want to scooch the right foot away and then lower the knee down. We start with our dragons here. This is our low lunge in our more yang versions of yoga, and a dragon pose in yin yoga. We'll lift up through the heart, reaching down through the hands, letting the weight shift into that right hip to help open it. Pressing into the left foot. Again, if you have to adjust the skin on your knee or provide support underneath your right knee, go ahead and do so. Remembering our variation from the chair, so you can place your left foot on the chair and then lean forward. Hands can go to the back of the chair or to the wall, making sure all four corners of your chair do not move. So focus your breathing on your body. Big, full, complete breaths in, finding length and extension in the spine, in the areas where you're experiencing the stretch. And then with each exhale, seeing if you can find some relaxation. Where are you holding? Where can you let go that tension is not needed? Is it in your eyebrows, in your mouth? Let's take another big breath in. With your exhale, slowly start to fold forward here. We're going to step our left hand to the inside of our left leg, maybe turning your blocks down a height here. We'll walk our left foot out towards the long edge of the mat, letting the shoelace part of the foot lift so the knee externally rotates outward, coming into our lizard lunge now. Still sinking into that right hip flexor. Again, finding the variation in the chair if that suits your hips best. Breathing space into any areas of tightness, any areas that feel turned off, or maybe areas that are newly lit up. newly engaged and activated with awareness. Notice where you can allow yourself to be soft. What are you trying to control that doesn't need to be controlled? Where can you concentrate your power and energy? With your next inhale, let's go ahead and start to come up. We're going to grab our blankets here. And then sliding your left hand to the outside of your left foot. We'll take our left foot over towards the short end of our mat on the right and sinking down into the front of the right hip flexor as the left heel moves towards the right hip. Lifting up to start with, getting as deep as we can now into that front right hip. Soft where you can be soft. Allow where you can allow. With your next exhale, let's go ahead and take it forward again, releasing downward. Focusing deeply here. Knowing or noticing where your mind goes. And as you observe that it has wandered away, notice if you can bring it back to the experience of breathing into your body. Continually drawing your concentration back and back again. Being gentle with yourself and compassionate as your understanding and awareness grows. Recognizing your power and noticing the noticing. Allowing the breath to be a soothing balm. Preparing to exit the pose. Let's go ahead and take a big inhaling breath, pressing our hands into the floor and slowly righting ourselves. And now, if you are still on the floor, go ahead and lean back in towards your left hip. As you do so, roll your right knee and your right hip skyward, taking pressure off of the right knee. Reach your right hand back behind your right knee, and then pressing into your left hand, swing your right hand and your right leg all the way around here, catching your left hand around your right ankle, crossing the right knee on top of the left knee, coming into our cow face pose here. And so your bottom ideally should still be on your blanket from using it to support our pigeon. If you are seated in your chair, you can come back to your mountain pose, and we will essentially do the same thing. Right hand underneath right knee, lifting it up, swing it over, and we will stack one knee on top of the other. And now, whether you are on the floor or on your chair, you'll need your strap as well. And so please go ahead and grab that if you need to. And so again, knees are stacked here. Our feet can set beside us, If your feet are really tight, try to adjust them so that your ankles are happy, the shoelace part of your foot is happy. We'll take our strap now and place our strap over our right shoulder. Inhale and extend your right arm up overhead. And then exhale and take your right hand to your strap so that your fingers face downward and the palm of your right hand faces in towards you. And now we'll take our left arm here and extend it out away from us with our palm facing away. Exhale and take the back of your hand to the small of your back with the palm still facing away from you. Find your strap in your hand, the fingertips of the left hand pointing up towards the fingertips of the right hand. And now lifting your elbows away from one another, sit really tall through your heart. Draw your rib cage towards your spine slightly, lifting higher through the crown of your head as you draw your elbows away from one another, opening space along the right side of your chest and the left side of your chest. Feeling it through the pecs and your deltoid on the left side and your lats on the right side. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, and we'll lean forward slightly, just coming as far as feels good for you, getting a little deeper into the hips here, keeping your breath really focused. We're going to need core strength here. So firm your belly towards your back, tuck your chin slightly towards your chest. Inhale, slowly rise up. Release the grip of your hands. Exhale and slowly let your right hand run down the front of your chest, letting your left hand slide out the back, really slow, taking your time, letting both hands rest on your lap for just a moment, noticing your shoulders. And now taking your strap and setting it off to the side where you'll be able to reach it. We're now going to take our hands towards our left foot. And now if you're seated in a chair, you're going to just do a normal transition from the floor. We are able to spin here. So what we'll do is we're going to take our hands towards our left leg. Inhale, lift your hips up. If your knees are very delicate, skip this pose. You can switch a different way. If you are able to spin, just keep going all the way around. Keep going 360 degrees. And then as you come back, your left leg will be on bottom, right leg will be on top. And so adjust yourself here. If you're in the chair, go ahead and come back to your chair mountain pose, and then you can bring the right leg on top this time. Or actually, I think I may have told you right leg last time. So maybe it's the left leg this time. I'm sorry. All right, and so now we'll take our strap over our left shoulder. Inhaling, extending the left arm up, and then exhaling the left hand to the back of our neck, bringing our hand around the strap so the palm of the hand faces inward, fingers face downward. Inhale and open the right arm out, and then exhale, right hand comes to the small of your back. Finding the strap, palm faces out, fingertips reach up. Holding onto the strap here, imagine as though you could break it, reaching the left hand skyward, right elbow downward. Pulling your ribs in slightly, sitting tall through the crown of your head. Take another deep breath in. Exhale and slowly fold over your legs, just coming as far as feels comfortable through your hips. Remember, we've got to come back up the same way, so don't go too far. Make sure you still have sensation throughout your shoulders, arms, and neck. All right, we're gonna need core strength here. So pull your belly towards your back, chin tucks towards chest. Inhale, slowly come all the way back up to center. Exhale, very slowly release your hands, taking your time to bring them back down in front of you, resting them momentarily on your lap, sitting tall. All right, so let's go ahead and undo our legs here. You can move your strap off to the side. And then we'll use our hands on our top leg, gently pulling your top leg off as you lean back. And then you can unthread your bottom leg, taking both feet to the floor with your knees bent. You can come off your blanket momentarily here, taking your bottom to the floor, and we'll just drop our knees from side to side. Now, whether you're seated in the chair or on the floor, go ahead and come to a meditative position, propping your bottom if you're seated, propping your knees if you need extra support underneath your knees, crossing your ankles one on top of the other if you are on the floor, grounding your feet flat if you are in the chair, sitting tall through the crown of your head. We'll use our thumb and our pinky finger for alternate nostril breathing now, using our left hand with our right hand resting palm down on the top of the thigh. Close the right nostril and breathe in through the left nostril. I am. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right nostril. Present. Breathe in through the right nostril. I am. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left nostril. Present. Breathe in through the left nostril. I am. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right nostril. Present. Breathe in through the right nostril. I am. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left nostril. Present. Breathe in through the left nostril. I am. Close the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Present. Breathe in through the right nostril. I am. Close the right nostril, breathe out through the left nostril. Present. Breathe in, I am. Switch, breathe out, present. Breathe in, I am. Switch, present. I am. Switch, present. I am. Switch, present. I am. Present. I am. present. Continue for 3 more rounds on your own. When you've completed 3 rounds, release both hands back to the tops of your thighs with your palms downward. Release your chin slightly towards your chest, observing the state of your mind and body. If it feels comfortable, continue to repeat your mantra with your breathing. Breathing in, knowing I am. Breathing, releasing, exhaling, knowing presence. Joining our hands together in front of our heart, feeling deeply grateful for this time we've spent together to practice yoga, to open and unearth what may be stored in our hips, as well as bringing our awareness more deeply into focus with concentration. Touching the thumbs to the forehead, reminding us to live with an open mind. Touching our thumbs to our heart, reminding us to love with an open heart. It's been my honor to guide you through your practice today. We can honor one another with Namaste. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know how it feels for you. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much.